What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I hope you're having a great day. And today, we are here with our first special guest, Patti Serenata. Say hello, Patti.
Hello, Patti.
What's going on, babe?
Not much. Just got back from a fun weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah. And, gearing up for the week.
Okay. That's fantastic to hear. Now, did you miss me?
Of course I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you a lot. It was crazy. This is kind of like the first... We've only spent a couple of... There's been seldom times that we've spent apart.
Yeah.
And yesterday was one of them. And it wasn't even like a full... Was it a full 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
It was almost a full 24 hours?
I think it was a full 24 hours.
Yeah, because you left at 7.
Yeah.
You didn't get back till after that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, there was moments where I'm like, I miss my best friend.
And I was missing you a lot yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. So the thing was, Patti went with the boys to go watch the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
Against Tampa Bay. It was fun.
Even though they lost.
Right? Zeb and Rudy got tickets, so Mom, Patti, ended up getting a ticket as well. And it's not that I didn't want to go. It's like, obviously, there were two things that came into consideration, was just like funds was one, and then just some, again, right, the episode, I quit being a step parent.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes we all need to get to a point where it just becomes fun again, and all parties involved are just feeling good. And so sometimes I feel like it's better for me to just stay back, do my thing while you go do your thing, reinforce that relationship, which I think worked out well either way. Any thoughts on that?
No. Obviously, like, someday I hope we get to the point where I can say, hey guys, let's go hang out for the week in a really cool place, in a cabin or something near water, and everyone's like, oh, cool, yeah. And everyone would be there, instead of kind of being in somewhat of an estranged relationship or kind of awkward or walking around on eggshells, just uncomfortable being like all together in the same room. So I know like everyone needs time to heal, to learn, to grow. So the sooner that we can all get to doing that, the better times will come sooner than later.
Yeah, the sooner everybody becomes
happy go fucking lucky. Like,
no, I call it Jedi mind master. We just have to be able to master our fucking thoughts and feelings,
Correct. Until we're able to read each other's minds.
Yeah, right. No,
and act accordingly. I'm joking.
Pretty sure you can read my mind. Everyone can read my mind, vice versa. Like we can all feel the feeling.
It's in the eyes.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's just talk a little bit about that then. Like, back way when, obviously. So we've been together for how long?
I don't know, like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, going on 8 years, I think, right? Something like that. What's your perspective on living with me and the relationship? Or not? I don't want to say living with me because it's two different things. It's one thing in a relationship with me,
right?
And then two, living with me is, so I guess I'll.
And which one did you want me to address?
Whatever you want to address first.
Okay. Being in a relationship with you, it's been really tough. Has not been easy. It's also had its moments of like being super fun. When the highs are high, they're super high. When the lows are low, it seemed to be.
Now, what time period are you referring? Like, are we
in the
going
beginning?
Back? Right.
Yeah.
I feel like for some people that have actually listened to the podcast, that they've heard some of it, and which is good. Which again, it's good to reinforce, and I do want to talk about it because I want to get your perspective.
So from that standpoint, so early on. So from that time, I can fast forward to now. Wilson's done a lot of maturing. He's done a lot of changing. The transformation from what it used to be, just kind of like he would get triggered and just start yelling, and then everyone would pretty much be miserable, to becoming aware and conscious and doing the things that he needed to do to like make that pivot to change So he would catch himself in the moment, like, oh, here I go again. I'm yelling. Let me step back a second. He's had all kinds of, I would say, tools and resources that he's used and implemented so that he's more bearable to be around. The other part, so there's been a lot of maturity, there's been a lot of transformation, and I love a good roller coaster, and this is exactly what the relationship this is exactly what the relationship has been, but more on the good side. The highs are high again. Hopefully they'll just trend, keep going onward and upward.
What was one of your biggest things that you like? Because I feel like both of us were at a certain level of immaturity and maturity at the same time, right? Like you obviously had 4 kids at the time that we were already together, but I feel like there was also levels of immaturity on your side as well as mine, right? And I think when we got together, we were just like, and it was like a whirlwind of like try to figure life out while trying to figure life out while trying to like
raise kids
and figure life out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And work and make money and all the fucking crazy shit. So I feel like we both came from life situations and things like that like, trials and tribulations, just like everyone. And I think for the most part, because of what we had and also liquor, right? So let's talk about liquor and alcohol and all that type of consumption. Like we both were doing that already before we got together.
Yeah.
Right. And there was a level of like, I think that we can say of like too much indulgence, like abuse of it in certain times. And I think when we got together, we were both emotionally like frail and broken and whatever the fuck from our influences, like from our past, whether your relationships, my growing up in terms of things like that and stuff like that. And I think it became like I think so my perspective is that we found like console in each other. Is that the right word? Like we found like that's why I always say you're my other half. Like I feel like we found the person, like I found the person that makes me feel good no matter what, even though there was things I was working on while being under the influence, while being in a rage, while having all these fucking things that I was dealing with at the time, and still trying to be a good person or still try to be like that person for you. And I think vice versa. Would you agree that like would you agree that that's what it was, like our internal, like our first coming together, we were coming from different situations but with either similar like,
for me it was more like kismet, serendipitous. It was meant to be like we really didn't know each other in the beginning, but somehow there was like some kind of attraction. The energy you put out like initially like freaked me out, but then I was like, all right, then you just you had a joy for life, which was like really refreshing because everyone around here is like, oh my gosh, I hate my life, so to speak.
Right.
And you're just like so full of energy, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. And you literally would light up a room and bring joy and make everyone feel good. You're definitely like, I'm pretty sure you're in flirtatious mode most of the time or whatever it is.
Flirtatious mode, engaged.
Yeah. So, but like also, and during that time, like we were both in different relationships, and in my relationship, it was like so miserable being lonely in a relationship with someone, and it was just terrible, and I had to get out of it. And during some of the times where I needed it the most, like I would get a simple text from you like, hey, what are you doing? And I was sitting in my living room hating my life, listening to the ex cry his eyes out or whatever, becoming suicidal. And not that I'm not, I mean, I could definitely work on my empathy and sympathy, but I mean, this was basically a grown guy crying over, to me, I have no idea. Like, I can't figure that one out. But
I feel like it's more like the individual. Like if I were crying in the bathroom, which I did when I did the mushroom trip.
Right.
Like what we did.
Well, I mean, I did the initial "Are you okay?" kind of thing. Yeah, like I'm not a monster.
Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying. So like, let's not get into it.
Right.
The other individual too wasn't like the best person
Right.
to be with.
So for me, it was
no-
like, like I'd get that text from Wilson and I'd be like, oh, wow, like here's a person who we weren't in business together. We weren't quite friends. We were just acquaintances still at the time. And just out of the blue, I would get a text, how are you doing? How was your day? And like, I hadn't had any person, that I was in a relationship prior to that, like actually ask me or like care for that matter. So that was pretty awesome. And then our friendship pretty much just grew, and up until the point where you used my Jeep to help get you moved out, which I didn't know you had broken up with your girlfriend at the time. And then I turn around and I'm like, hey, in that same Jeep, can you help me please move me and my kids out of my house and into my mom's house? Yeah. So like we were truly like friends, because like if you're not friends, no one wants to help anybody move out for that matter.
Nobody wants to help move out. Even if you are friends, people are like,
right.
Shit,
like, yeah, I think we're in church that day.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. No, it's actually pretty refreshing to hear that again, and actually like seeing you across the table.
Yeah.
Talking about it's pretty fun.
Yep.
This is actually pretty fun. Yeah. And so that happened. There was all right. So there was a moment too where like right before my relationship was going out, like when I first got here, I was trying to look. The only person I've not cheated on in a relationship has been Patti.
That's right.
and so there's a moment like in the relationship, like when the last relationship was going out, that I actually tried to hit on Patti and tried to see if she wanted to come back to the place with me, and she actually said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
And during that time, like we were both slut puppies. Let's just put that out there. Sure. So like for me to say that, and like Wilson's obviously freaking extremely handsome.
Thanks, babe.
And so for me, it was like, wow, I'm really saying no to this guy. For me, it was really, honestly, in my heart, I could feel like this was my best friend, and I didn't want to fuck it up over a one night stand, because like, for all I know, sex could have fucking sucked. He could have been like a 1 second nightmare or something, which is not the case.
Tiny.
Or
tiny. Not the case.
But just the same, like I really didn't want to lose that friendship at all. Like I didn't want to hinder it in any way. So at that time, I was like, I'm gonna keep my legs closed on this one.
I was actually quite surprised as well. But I think that was probably one of the things that probably attracted me more to you, right? Because I felt
there was in his slide.
Yeah, because I was just not now. I just felt like I couldn't, like. It wasn't.
You're like, what do you mean? No.
Yeah, exactly.
That was funny. Yeah. Come on.
No. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, I remember that. And that was at the grind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
They call it the grind for a reason.
That's right. Okay. So then let's fast forward. So after that, we helped each other move out. Then we were like hanging out. You were living at your mom's house with the boys, right? So it was your mom and the 3 boys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4 boys. One's older. One's actually was in college at that time.
Yeah,
he was in college. And then you had Zeb. Well, you had the 3 boys, Zeb, Rudy, and Oz. Mm-hmm. And then I was living at a friend's house, Doc. Mm-hmm. And then we would hang out, all 3 of us. And then like one thing led to another, and then we just got a little bit closer. It was May 5th. Or Cinco de Mayo,
yeah,
whatever that was, and then we actually like hooked up, and then we kind of started growing our relationship there. That was a little turbulent times in the intro, the beginning part of that stuff. Like even just like figuring out who wants to hook up with who and who wants to be with what.
Severe jealousy if it was going to be exclusive or not.
Yeah, not exclusive. Yeah. Like and the one thing that I do appreciate was that like. So here's one thing that we always say within the relationship. We also like, share with others. It's like communication and honest communication. And I think we've done really well within our relationship, even in the beginning, to discuss like honest communication. And I think my honest communication to you is like, hey, I just kind of want to do my own thing for a little bit. I still want to be friends. I still want to hang out. I still want to be able to have benefits,
Right.
you know? But I also want to go out and do X, Y, Z, and like have my time for myself, or like, you know, go out with other people. And then the thing that like kind of, not that shocked me, but that you were open to like, hey, that's fine. I'm open to doing that as well. But I will be here for you.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of changed my mind. And then all of a sudden when I decided to go out, or I went out on a date or something like that, or I went out with someone else, like there was a notion of me feeling wrong about it, like me feeling bad about like not being with you, while you were saying like, hey, I'll just wait for you. I'll kind of be around, you know, I'll still be here for you, sort of thing. And that changed my perspective. Like that gave me like feelings, and all of the right feelings. I was like, oh, I actually truly care, and
Right.
you know, truly care about the person.
And again, the friendship like really had a lot to do with that. Because, and also at that time too, it's like I just coming out of like 2 back-to-back long-term relationships. I'm like, you know, I didn't like, for me, I'm in it for the relationship for the most part. And I know when to get out now. But it was a time where I'm like, I got my kids, I got my work, you know, I love Wilson as a person. He's my best friend. So it was, I mean, obviously on the jealousy side, it was really hard to like, you know, see you go out with other people or whatever. But the friendship side was the part that made it bearable.
Very cool at that t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made it okay for me to say like, yes, I agree to this.
Right.
And I appreciate you like being completely honest and open about it, because like it would have been really shitty like, oh, you're going out with that guy, well, he's seeing half of Volusia County, you know, or whatever.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that's, and you know, a couple of things on that, and maybe this will be kind of the point on this one, and we'll continue. We'll do another one, and we'll continue. But I feel like for anybody in a relationship, you know, whether it's new to you or something that you're moving into, or you're currently in a relationship, I feel like the biggest thing is being able to have, you know, not just communication, but honest communication about not even certain, pretty much everything that affects a relationship, right? Like, you know, I remember at some point, like, we had an open conversation about sexual preferences in terms of like what we need in the bedroom and things like that, vice versa, you know, things like that we continue to work on. But I feel like between that and how I felt early on, I was like, hey, I still want to go I'm a fucking peacock, get on me fly sort of thing, you know? Like, I feel like if you're in a relationship and this is the other individual, then the other person deserves that open honesty, or that honest line of communication in terms of, you know, who you are, how you're feeling at the time, and not things that, and it's not that things can change,
right?
Like things can progress. Like you don't necessarily, it's not like if you're thinking one way now and in 6 months or a year or 3 years later, like it's going to be the same thing. But I feel like in a relationship, it's like an ever growing progressive sort of thing. But I'm going to keep reinforcing the fact that I think it's honest communication, whether it is, you know, in the bedroom, or how you're going to discipline or raise your kids,
or even do your laundry,
or how you do your laundry, or get your laundry out of the tub. It's still working on. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that for the longest has given us, you know, in terms of our relationship, the opportunity to keep growing forward and moving forward.
I'm really happy that I got to learn my life lessons. I mean, it took me the longest time forever to come to the conclusion of open and honest communication, because a lot of times we'll get in a relationship, you know, we think we're communicating, but then like a couple of years later, it's like, oh my God, who the hell did I end up with, or whatever. And then, and like people will sometimes assimilate to the partner that they're with just because they don't want any drama. And then after like so many years, and then after so many years, you're like, what the fuck? You look in the mirror, you're like, who am I? Who is this person? Like, I'm agreeing to do something I don't like, or I'm going along with this person and I'm not happy about it, like that kind of thing. So, and in today's world, when it comes to dating, like the apps and everything has everything all jacked up. To me, it's like if you can make up your own questionnaire or survey to pre-qualify who your other half is going to be, like that would be the best step to start with. Write those questions out. It goes more than, like, what's your credit score? Because, like, these things are important too. Like, what's your credit score? How much debt do you have? I mean, it is, but then at the same time, you also have to say, all right, this is an absolute, like, no. Like, when it comes to me, like, you don't do this. Right, your non-negotiables, exactly.
That was something that we discussed a lot about, non-negotiables. And then, but again, there's certain things that can evolve, right? But I feel like as the relationship evolves, like the thing with us, like our relationship evolved and certain things in the way that we saw it evolved, the whole jealousy thing evolved. Right. Like, there was when we first started, that's funny. We'll go another 10 minutes and we'll break them into two. Okay, we'll bring them into two here. Let me just actually start this thing in to make sure that we get another 20 minutes. But, and so for jealousy, if anyone out there is, dealing with that or in a relationship too with jealousy, like we were the two biggest jealous.
Yeah.
We were slut puppies and then we were super jealous slut puppies.
At the same time, jealous and possessive. It's a lethal combination.
Yeah. And so I feel like there's a couple of things when you right, obviously it comes from something, right? For me, I feel personally like, one, because I was a slut puppy, there was definitely distrust in the other person because I was doing the things that like I knew other people can potentially be doing.
And knows one. What is it? No one. It takes one to know one.
So it takes one to know one. Yeah, exactly. So like that was an issue, right? And then I also feel like maybe even the self-confidence thing, which people talk about. It's like maybe, you're not, there's certain things that you're not confident about that you're sort of overcompensating for. The jealousy becomes part of that, right? And so I feel like that was a mix of combination. But for us, for you and for me, I think, again, the honest communication of being able to be like, hey, we know that this is the issue. Because when we started drinking and we were out like in public places where there's tons of people and fucking everyone just trying to flirt with everybody or trying to at least whatever the fuck, that became an issue. So then Patti and I both came up with a game plan and we discussed it. We were like, hey, look, okay, we know there's a couple of things like what's in the situation. And it's like, well, when alcohol is involved, are we getting rid of alcohol at that moment? No, because we're like, we enjoy this. This is fun, But it was at least being conscious or like having a plan before we went to these places to say, hey, if this happens, if this person comes up to you,
what's the safe word?
Yeah, right. What's the safe word? Basically, we had a plan of action. Yeah. If there was something that we didn't like, that we felt uncomfortable, or we felt like this jealousy rage about to come over us, then the other person, whether it was myself or you, we would either come into a plan of leaving or changing the situation.
Right.
And after a longer period of time, we didn't have to have the conversation going into places anymore because we built that trust because of the action that you took, right? So let's say the example was like if Patti said to me, hey, if so-and-so comes up to you or this girl comes up to you or anybody comes up to you, like, I want you to move and come near me. And then if they continue, then let's just leave. Like, and I took those actions or Patti took those actions.
Yeah.
And so that reinforced the fact that we were in it together for each other as like a unit. And it was more important than sitting there and hanging there and trying to be fucking social with somebody that at the end of the day was not part of the long-term relationship.
Right.
And so over a long period of time, like we did that more than a couple of times. Like we did that for a good few months, I would say, I think, right? My memory serves me correct. And then that just became part of who we were. And I think that's how you can start working with your couple. If there is, the other thing that bothers me, like that I still see that people who are couples, then they have their phone and they're like, and then like the other person tries to like look at the phone or something and they do this like phone screen flip thing. There's no way in hell that like there isn't something going on.
Right.
Okay. There's something going on. So like, I just don't get that either. And I think that's continued. Like, I think that's what has helped us through our relationship. Like, yes, we need our own time, and would you agree with me? It's cool that we had our time, like that you got a chance to like go and hang out, but we still miss each other.
Oh yeah.
Or do things on your own or go to dance while I'll go to soccer.
Right.
Like you have your own me time. But I feel like if the goal is to have a long lasting relationship, then there should be not a lot of barriers for that trust or the trust to be taken advantage of, right? Like you have full control of my phone. I have full control of your phone.
We know each other's passwords.
We know each other's passwords. Like, we had one phone for a minute.
Yeah, forever.
While we were on the come up. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like there's certain things that, one, if you're not talking about it and you're not being honest about it, like if I was a dude or a female, it doesn't fucking matter, whoever you are in that situation, and someone is on their phone and doesn't let me see their phone or goes, oh, it's my privacy. Mm-hmm. Like, there's got to be a conversation around that, you know?
Yeah.
If someone's not, right? Like, instead of being like, oh, okay, and then you go away and you start feeling shit, and then all of a sudden you hold resentment, and then you start blowing each other up, or like, you know, like yelling at each other or screaming, and next you know it's fucking physical abuse, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it just can lead to something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And for me, jealousy was more like the fear of someone taking someone away from me. I'm very possessive, I would say. So for me, it's like if someone's like attempts to flirt with, well, and it happens all the time. Yeah. So like for the most part, I'm like, all right, she, you know, I'm not judging people, but I am. I'll be like, all right, whatever. It's just this person. Like, it's not a threat. And anymore, it's like, I had asked Wilson, like, how do you not be jealous? And he had an audible about overcoming jealousy or something. I rode my bicycle trying to listen to this book over, like, I've probably listened to it from start to finish 3 to 4 times. And some of it, you know, there was a couple of takeaways. For the most part, it wasn't jiving with me at all. And then there was one time we were at a retreat, and the retreat leader had touched on the topic of jealousy and mentioned that someone who is jealous means that there's an underlying issue that they have to work with. So now when I think about jealousy, I'm like, all right. And I, you know, get those jealous jitters or whatever. I'm like, okay, let me reassess the situation. Is there a reason for me to be jealous of Wilson? Is this, you know, person going to take Wilson away from me? Would Wilson let that happen? Will Wilson let that happen? No, he won't. Yeah. So that's kind of like, and I'm still on the journey.
Those?
What?
Call those prompts.
Prompts?
Yeah, that's what we talk about, right?
Yeah.
It's about how you, like, your thoughts in your head.
How to make that pivot.
And how to make that pivot. And so you're using your prompts that help you understand what what your reality is right now, because your reality hasn't changed, or it hasn't said anything different.
And there's always a time and place for something too, because like if you're in a professional situation and I'm like, oh my God, here he goes again, he's flirting or whatever, or the female is practically naked, whatever, you know, like I'll, you know, wait till we get home and find the right space and time to have that conversation. Like, hey, you know, I saw you talking like she was hanging all over you. You didn't do anything. Da-da-da.
It has never happened, though.
Yeah, it has.
I don't think they were naked.
No.
Okay.
I said it. It was in a professional stand. I'm like, I didn't know you were a porn star, babe.
That's what I was asking. So, you know, like, what is that? So, that's funny. Okay, cool. So, hey, everyone out there, this is a great first one. And I think we have plenty more to do. So, in between other ones, you make sure you come back and visit the show, okay? You come back. And I think it'd be awesome to, like, at some point, maybe we get you as like as a great special guest host, and then we have another person come in, and then we can do that. How do you feel about that?
Why? What are you going to be doing? Who are you going to be with? Just kidding. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll be your Jay Leno to your Johnny Carson.
Oh, and for the younger people out there, your Carson Daly to your Havana or something.
It's Jimmy Fallon I'll be your Jimmy Fallon to your Jay Leno.
Okay, there you go. That's cool. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Any last words for people right now? I guess if they're getting into a relationship, you got to go? Or is that, you're on camera, so you saw what I saw.
I said nothing changes until you do.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I thought that was going to be my sign up. Okay.
No, just just be super honest. And if they have a problem with it, you know, tell them to fuck off, because, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's other people. Your person is out there. And if not, that's the other thing too. You have to love yourself before you love someone else.
Love yourself and value yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself, value yourself, and then value what's important. And I've said this before. Value what's important within the relationship, right? Because like, if you've gone into a relationship with some people, you're a year in, 2 years in, even 6 months, whatever, it's early on, you invested a shit ton of time. Yeah. What are you valuing? You know, are you valuing, I'm staying with this person because like fear of loss and I don't think I can do it without him? Or are you valuing staying there because you truly, honestly love that person and you think that things can work out? But how do you get to that place is really the question. And it starts with honest communication, I think.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good way to end on this one. All right, homies, thanks so much. Thanks to Patti, my other half. I love you, Patti. Say bye, Patti.
Bye, Patti.
And don't forget, guys, it takes time, patience, and practice. It's all about the thoughts in our head. Life is just an accumulation of situations and decisions made over time. That's right. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Yeah, good one, baby.